So in your eyes, this land, the Holy Land, what they call Israel, Palestine, this is Africa.
This is Africa.
We've done a great job in being able to demonstrate that this is Northeast Africa. And once we begin to look at it as such, and we stop believing this idea of Israel being a part of the Middle East.
Go over here, and I'm going to show you where Israel sits on the African tectonic plate, which means that Israel is Northeast Africa.
What do you mean Middle East? Is there an Upper East, a Lower East? What do you mean Middle East?
For most of the blacks, they have a confusion about Israel. This is your home. This is your land.
But you know, the government, before the Turkish people come here, they control this land for 400 years, and they left, and we stay in the desert. Then the English, the government of English people, they come here, maybe control some for a little time, and they left, and we stay here, and now it's the Israeli, and we stay here, and we could continue to stay in this land.
He's from Africa. Esther Doro, 10 generations here.
The black people here in this land, it's not for the last 100 years or something like this. It's more than 1,000 of years.
We are deeply rooted in this country. We are talking about generations and generations.
The evidence is hands down. It's not even something that we engage in a debate on about the dark-skinned nature of the peoples that lived in these regions in antiquity.
They're not original here. They know that we are the original people here.
The reality is that we tend to look at this land based on what we've seen in contemporary times. And what do we see? We see fair-skinned Israelis, and we see fair-skinned Arabs.
הייתה פלסטין, הייתה לפני הטורקים, before the Palestinian, before the Turkish Empire.
I have a book called The Arabs. I believe the author's name is Bertrand Thomas. On page 339, he says the original inhabitants of Arabia were not the more familiar Arabs of our own time, but a very much darker people.
You see this people in the mosque? I say, you see this people in the mosque? He don't want the black in the mosque to become the imam, the first man who did this. Then he start to say Hassan al-Basri this. His education from the black people. So don't say. So say what? I say yeah. You have to become to become the leader. Tell him. He say Hassan al-Basri. You have to stand the imam and don't say Hassan al-Basri. He say my cousin Hassan al-Basri, my brother Hassan al-Basri.
You can say we began when Islam came to Palestine, but I'm quite sure we are even before and before and before.
You look at the name of Palestine, it was the name that the Romans gave to the land formerly known as Judea.
Another thing about Methodism is that at the Last Supper, if you remember, Yeshua and the disciples were sitting around the table, and they had glassware on the table. They were not drinking out of glass.
I just watched the TV one time. I see a movie on the TV. I see this is Zayd al-Halal. I see they put it in the TV, he's white. But everybody know, even the white, they know this is Zayd al-Halal, he's a black.
If you take the map of the old city, you never find the African quarter. You will find Christian quarter, Armenian, Jewish, Muslim quarter, but never the African quarter.
National TV about Palestinian suffering. If you ever see a black brother, but we suffer the same.
People from our people. They regard Jesus to be black, Moses, Muhammad, Abraham.